When Warren G. Harding died, Calvin Coolidge became president, and he was a big proponent of laissez-faire politics, which is a French word that means hands off. And he really and truly did believe that the government should stay out of business's way. What was good for business was good for America, and it appeared so during the 1920s because business did very, very well indeed. Changing the slide. Kellogg-Briand Pact actually was 15 nations, including the United States, that pledged not to use the threat of war against one another. It was a pact created by the major parties that helped each other out during World War I, and it was really them trying to avoid another world war, which lasted maybe for a decade or so before World War II started with the rise of Hitler and Mussolini in Europe. Problem was, if some nation did break the pact, there really was no way to enforce it or punish the nation that broke the pact. So it failed. Moving on. Now for business. We are a consumer economy. This was the era where we became a consumer economy, and we still are a consumer economy. If you're not sure what that is, that just means that the economy, right, the health of the country, the wealth of the country, the economy depends on people like us spending money, consumers spending money. And we're all consumers. Consumers are individuals that use products, and we all use products, whether it's shoes, like in the picture here, or video games, or movies, or cars, or anything that we buy is a product. We are a consumer-driven economy. We have to buy things to keep the economy healthy. During this era, credit became big. Using installment plans, the customer was able to pay in regular amounts over a time period. And each business and each catalog and each store had its own line of credit they could offer you. Moving on. Now we had electrical power going to all the homes in the cities, and that electrical power was something that we could use, or something that the electric power companies use to start building more equipment for it. If you look in the top right-hand corner, this is lighting fixtures, waffle makers, refrigerators and freezers, clocks, toasters, dishwasher, coffee pots, irons, washing machines, mixers, lamps, another lamp, radios, and the big stove in the middle. These were all new things created with electricity, but now we needed outlets. Now we needed wires to be, or we needed homes to be wired. In fact, new homes were beginning to be built in the 20s with electricity. They hadn't had electricity before. And in 1925, only 4% of homes, or not homes, of farms in America had electricity. And by the end of the decade, actually by the end of 1940, we would begin to have almost electricity to every corner of the United States, even the most remote areas. It took money to do that. During this period, the government had a lot of money because every time you buy something, you pay taxes to the government. And as long as you're buying, taxes are going to the government. As long as you're buying, businesses are growing and making money, and they're paying taxes to the government. When the government's healthy with money and we're buying things, the economy is cranking along. General Electric, which was the largest company in America and the largest producer of electricity in the country, became the largest corporation in America during this era. It still is the largest corporation in the United States. Moving on. Advertising grew to sell all these products. So you can tell back then, like the advertisements on the left, back then advertisements had a lot of words. They're almost like little articles. And today, they mostly rely on pictures and very few words to get the message across. But they are still appealing to your emotions just like they do today. And they were using celebrities. Up in the top left, this is Judy Garland, who was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, selling radios. Productivity increased. Well, you know what? Let's finish this lecture, and we'll do productivity in the next lecture.